Hello and welcome to all of you joining us. I'm Miss Amber.
Hi, I'm Ms. Iris. Thank you so much for being here with us. Um, we know that during this typical, we know that during this time, starting middle school is a huge transition for kids your age. And you might be having all kinds of feelings. You might be feeling scared, nervous, excited, motivated. There's so many emotions coming through in your little heads. And that's okay because middle school is a new, exciting part of your life. And on top of that, we're also in COVID moments. LAUSD and recently announced that we are doing virtual home learning. And now we're going to be studying from school as well. So there's a lot of changes, and you might be feeling all kinds of feelings because of that. So this school year may look very different for a typical school year, and that's okay. That's why we're here to kind of guide you and give you some fun tips about school learning through at home, but also what to expect in middle school if we go back very soon. You may be wondering what to expect this upcoming school year as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only imagine what it's like for a lot of you. I'm guessing there's mixed feelings. Iris and I, we might not have all the answers for you, but we designed this webinar series to get you ready for anything that comes your way. The one thing that we can say is that students, teachers, school staff, counselors, everyone has to adapt to these changing times. And Share Care counselors, we're really thinking of you and all the ways that we can support you during the transition. Let's have a quick poll to see a little bit about how you're all feeling about not coming back to school for fall. You should see a question here that is asking you, how do you feel about distance learning for the fall? Excited, less than thrilled, super bummed, or I don't care too much. So go ahead and take about 30 seconds finishing your poll and just make sure you hit the submit button.
You may find that you go back and forth with how you feel about it. Our feelings are okay. Amber and I are both trained in ways to support students with tools and techniques that will help you with different feelings and emotions. This 3-week series happening every Monday at 5 for the next 3 weeks will help you learn some helpful tips to get through this times, to get through middle school, and through COVID learning.
Yes, absolutely. Let's see. Okay, Jonathan, I think is going to show the result of our poll. Thank you. Okay, great. I can see that there's 42% super bummed, which I'm not too surprised by that one. Some of you are a little excited. Maybe it's totally okay for you to be home. And 26% less than thrilled. And then we have 16% of I don't care too much. There's just the one thing that we can say is that it's all okay. And it's definitely okay that you have some upset feelings about it. In today's session, we're going to talk about what you can expect in middle school and talk about some things to remember so that you can stay focused during a day of distance learning. As we go through today's session, please feel free to use the comment section at any time. This is a webinar Zoom, so we can't see you and you won't be able to see each other and connect with each other. So don't hesitate to use the comment section if you have something you really want to say or if you have a question.
Yes. There's going to be a lot of changes during these middle school years, and a lot of changes requires flexibility and figuring things out in different ways. You guys are going through changes in your body, the way that you think, changes in friendships, changes in school environment. So we understand that is a time of change, but it's also a time of flexibility. Here's a little video that we want to show you. And that where it highlights how frustrating it could be sometimes when something seems a little impossible. Enjoy. that little small video. And and the struggle was real for this little pig to get his cookies. Wouldn't you say? But what we can learn from this is that in the video, sometimes we have to be creative when we problem solve. We have to find new ways and different ways to find solutions. And in middle school, it's going to be the same. We completely motivate you guys to try new things. There's going to be very different experiences you will be having. And the best advice is be a little bit like the little pig. Try different things, you know, like it's really important to try different solutions, different ways of solving a problem. That is tip number one. Number two, that what we can learn from the video is be creative. Be creative, have new ideas, try new things. Never say, oh, that's not a good idea. No, you just have to try different things to find the solution to your problem. Tip number three is run after that goal. So if it's grabbing these cookies, in middle school, it might be making a new friend or joining a fun social club or joining drama or making new friends. And maybe it's academic goal, maybe getting straight A's or joining a sport. Whatever your goal is, run after that goal and do not give up. So the fourth tip we could give you that we could learn from this video as well is never give up. Never give up. Keep trying, try new things, ask for help, but go for that goal and just know that at the end, the more you try, the most likely you are to succeed to that goal that you set for yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Don't give up. Just keep trying. So we would love to show you some examples of our share and care tips that we came up with. Remember, just like Iris said, this is new for everybody. And sometimes there's ideas that we haven't even thought of yet. So one thing that we're suggesting and recommending for you guys is to really keep a positive attitude and what you call beginner mind, you know, knowing that we don't always have the answers. And if we just stay in that frame of mind, being open to new ideas, then we're going to be better off.
Exactly. And one of the things about middle school that you can expect is getting to know new people. We are lucky to live in Los Angeles, which is a city full of diversity, full of different cultures. And that's one thing that you should look forward to in middle school. Look forward to meeting new friends, diverse friends, people that are different cultures and speak different languages. That is one of the exciting things about middle school. And it's also an opportunity for you to learn about new people, new things, new food, and try new things. Let's see what you all think about culture and what it means to you. So take a second, think about something that represents your culture, jot it down, or just make a mental note of what culture means to you, because that is something that comes into play in your middle school experience. You start learning about yourself, but you also start learning about other people. I could offer you an example. I could offer you an example for myself. I'm Latina, I speak Spanish, and Latinos, if you guys are around us or you know us, we love eating. We love food. Food is really important in our family. A huge part of it is because we spend quality time around the table, and often some of our tradition dishes get passed down through our abuelitas, our grandmothers, our aunts, our tias. And one example I could give you is during the holidays, we usually eat turkey like everyone else, but we usually also have some tamales, or we have some champurrado or some hot chocolate, abuelita hot chocolate, because that is traditionally what we do. And we eat part of our cultural foods, but we also embrace some of the American cultural food. So that's one example I could give you of what makes us, each of us, unique and awesome, our culture.
Yum, that sounds so delicious. Middle school is a time to make new friends. It's a time to discover new things, meet kids from different backgrounds, and enjoy how different we all are. Just like Iris said, it may be a little different if we're doing physical distancing, but physical distancing doesn't mean social isolation. Here are some tips to stay connected with your friends and other students. Tip number 1, make plans. You don't have to use your Zoom room for only school. You can make plans with your friends. You can have game nights. You can hang out together and watch a movie at the same time. Just kind of have to get creative and motivated to try different things. Tip number 2, pay attention when your school offers outside events. You know, your school really wants to create opportunities for you to mingle with your peers. So when you see something like that, just give it a shot and attend, because you might meet somebody new during those. Tip number 3, offer your friends check-ins. And I'm not just talking about sending funny memes or funny videos. Ask them specifically, how are you holding up during this time? How are you? Is everything okay? Because remember that you never know what someone might be going through.
Absolutely. Those are awesome tips. And then one of the main changes about middle school is the need to be organized. So time management becomes essential and extremely important so that you do not feel overwhelmed. And the reason why is because, as opposed to elementary where you had one teacher in one class the whole day, middle school you will have multiple subjects, multiple teachers, multiple classes during one day. So that is a big change for you guys. And the best advice we could give you is stay organized so that you don't become overwhelmed. So here are some tips that we want to give you. Number 1, create a space for schoolwork time. That means at home right now, because we're learning from home starting the school year, is create a space in your home. If it's in the kitchen table, if it's in your room, in your desk, wherever you're at, create a nice space for your schoolwork and make sure that, you know, that is your space where you know you're going to do some studying and some reading. Another tip we could give you is definitely organize your material for easy access. That means that in your desk or in your schoolwork area that you've designated as your space to study, you want to keep all your materials in, you know, close by. Why? Because you might need your calculator, you might need your ruler, then you might need your color pencils, or you need to do just a pencil to take notes for school. And you don't want to be getting up all the time and going to grab it and going to find certain things. So just make sure everything is within easy access in your workspace. Tip number 3 is set up a start time to begin work and ending time. So if school starts at 8 a.m., make sure you clock in at 8, you take your lunch break and your breaks, but also clock out at a specific time. So it's from 8 to 2 p.m. Stick with that schedule because it's really hard working from home and doing different kind of schedules. So try to always have the same start time and the same ending time. For myself, I wake up early, I make my coffee, my breakfast, but I really try to start working by 8:30, start my working day, and then finish after 2 to 3, right? So I stick with it so that I do have some freedom to have some fun later in the day. And my tip number 4, our tip number 4 is make lists and weekly, daily schedules. So like I said, you're gonna have multiple classes, multiple assignments, multiple teachers are gonna be asking for different things. So make sure you have different to-do lists or homework planner. These are some examples that we wanna provide to you of a to-do list. And you write down what you need to do for the week, for what teacher, what subject, and maybe when it's due. So there are different ways that you could stay organized, and we'll be providing these examples for you to print out at home and you could do yourself. If you don't have a printer, that's okay. You could create your own to-do list. So I'm going to show you one really quickly. And this is, you know, if you have one big task, make sure you write it down. When you finish it, you could color in the heart. You might have 2 medium-sized tasks, organizing your backpack, things like that. When you're done, you could color in your hearts. And then small tasks like doing your dishes or doing different things like that. You could, once again, to-do list, you could cross it out or coloring your hearts. And another really quick one, when you have a big task, it might take a while for you to finish it. And so this is like organizing your closet. So you're gonna start with your socks and then your sweaters and then your t-shirts, right? And as you finish a task, you could color it in. So you don't really need a printer. You don't really need, anything, to buy. You could actually make your own to-do list so that you could stay organized if you want to save some money or just be, I don't know, be creative. I think it's always fun to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely be creative and you don't have to go out and shop for a bunch of things. I'm going to show you guys an example of how I did it using things that I had around the house. So, one of the things that I did was I looked for a box and I used paper, magazine, cut up images that I feel inspired by. This was just a little box that was in the recycling bin ready for to be recycled, and I repurposed it. So I use like lots of different colors because I think it's pretty obvious. I like a lot of colors, and so the colors kind of give me a little mood boost, and it just makes me feel really organized, like I can focus when I have everything in its own place in its own home. I took something that I found from the fridge like when I wasn't using it anymore, and this is just a jar. It used to have jelly in it, and I've used it for paper clips and pens, and you can put whatever you want in these things. I also found one where I put my pencils and pens in. I've got my highlighters. I'm super organized over here. I put my little to-do list here in all one place. This is the other side of the box where I used images of travel locations because that's something that makes me feel really inspired. So I used that by finding an old travel magazine that I could cut up, and I put some paintbrushes in here. I've got a ruler, glue, scissors, whatever you think you might need. It's really nice to have it in one space, like Iris said, so you don't have to go running around. And then I made my whole thing portable by putting it on a cookie sheet. So now I can work at the kitchen table. I could move it over to the living room or to my bed if I wanted to. So, and that was all completely free. I didn't spend a dime on that. So there's an example of how you can do all of these things from stuff you have at home. So of course, staying organized is really important, but all of these things, the thing that really, really has to happen, number one, is that you take care of yourself. So these are our self-care tips that we think are really important for you, and we've seen it be very important for other kids too. Here's tip number one: stay hydrated. Drink a full glass of water first thing in the morning. It should be something you do at the very beginning of your day so that you're not noticing it's 1 o'clock and I haven't had any water. Eating healthy meals, tip number two. This takes a little bit of organization, and we're going to share with you a snack plan that will come up next. Take frequent breaks. You really want to take moments to go outside, walk around, even if it's just going out and feeling the sun on your face. It's really important that you get outside and get fresh air, which leads us to physical activity, moving your body, walk around the block, play a game with your little brother or sister or a neighbor. Maybe not a neighbor, but someone who's in your household so you can stay safe. And just engage in activities that you enjoy. Just participate in something. You really need to have breaks so that you don't feel overwhelmed. And finally here, we can't say this enough. This is so important for your mental health and your focus and everything in middle school, is that you're getting enough sleep. And that means, being ready for the school year by starting now. You don't have to wait a day or 2 days before school starts to get yourself in a sleep pattern. This can all start now. So keeping yourself with alarms, and just like Ira said before, making sure you have a start date. We have a couple of really good examples for you. We have an everyday yoga stretch. These are from Healthy Habits. And we also have a snack plan. So you will also be getting all of these emailed to you so that you can get yourself really organized, tape this up on the wall, give yourself little yoga stretch breaks throughout the day so that you can be the best distance learner you can be.
Yes, absolutely. Self-care becomes really essential at any age, but you know, you guys are full of energy and you guys are going to be studying and working hard on your schoolwork. So please follow these self-care tips so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you're also taking care of your mind, body, your spirit. So please check out all the links we share with you today. We will also be emailing you some of the resources that we provided today. Have fun organizing your workspace and take time to plan out how you will organize your school assignments, the work tasks that your teachers are going to be asking, and so on. And organization tips are not just for homework and school. You could organize your life in different ways as well. So these tips could be used for school, and they could also be used for any other goals that you might have for yourself. Next week, we'll be talking about feelings and how to cope with them. You guys are going to have, you know, you guys are going to be feeling all types of things during this time of learning, virtual learning, not seeing your friends. So we definitely want to talk a little bit about how to cope with different feelings during this time.
Yes, yes. We're so glad that we're going through this with you. We really miss seeing you all and hope that we can be in person together soon in schools. But for now, we're doing this together and we're doing the best we can. Be well.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We wish we could see you, but we can't. But we send you big hugs. We wish you the best. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we hope to see you next week. Bye.
Yeah.